Good morning, TCM. Coming at you live from a recording that's not today, so I guess it's not really live for you then. Anyway, so I did a poll on my personal Instagram and the Collective Movements Instagram, and collectively the most requested tutorial by you guys was a back full. So that's what we're working on today. Luckily for you guys, I happen to be decent at these. Whether it's a standing back full or a round off back full or a cart full or whatever you want to call it, all of my twisting stems from the same thing. And if you guys don't know what I'm going to say next, then you should go watch some other tutorials, because all I do is talk about halving for all of my twisting. So I think this is going to be an easy tutorial for you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go in deep for you guys anyway. Okay. I've been talking about how back twisting is the same as front twisting, right? So if you, like for the corks and for the wall fulls, how I do a half, spot the floor, and then just do a front half, right? So they're basically, to me, they feel the same, a front half and a back full, because I only think of it as spot the floor, front half, okay? Now, hopefully Rudy can freeze frame some stuff for you right now to show this, but if you look, you'll see right here, I am spotting the floor. And then once I spot the floor, I then finish. Oh my God. This is the last time I film at 6. As you can see, I set, I spot the floor, and then I pull from my front half. All right, so what causes twisting? It's when, okay, so there's a few ways that twisting can happen. I think there's like 3 or 4, but for the most part, when you're in the air, a good twist will come from your hips, okay? In this case, it's gonna be from, in my case, it's gonna be from my right hip trying to reach towards my left hip. Twisting doesn't necessarily come from the shoulders, and the reason I'm saying this is because, as you can see, I'm moving my shoulder, and my shoulder isn't going anywhere. But as soon as I move my hips, my whole like torso and like to my knees all starts to turn. I will demonstrate this in a minute, but a good twist will come from the hips, okay? So your arms and your shoulders, speed it up. Okay, this is when we start to get into full twisting and double twisting and all of that good stuff, okay? So how to train for full? Admittedly, I learned inside a gym with nice soft crash pads, but you don't have to, because I also learned B-twists outside. So twisting from the hips, right? So my shoulders are moving, all right? I move my shoulders. I'm trying to touch my shoulder to my other one, doesn't go anywhere. I move my arms, doesn't go anywhere. I'm still flat and neutral. Now, as soon as I start to move my hips, as you can see, all of from my knees to up to like here is all twisting, okay? The way a solid twist would work is I twist left. So my left arm is gonna push past my ear. From here, I'm looking at the floor and I'm spotting. My hands are up for my big set. And then now that I'm set, I'm gonna squeeze my hips and my butt and turn all of it all at the same time. So I'm gonna be here and I'm set, and then I wrap, squeeze, and turn all at the same time. And that's what causes my twisting to happen for my singles, my doubles, and my triples. For me, that's what causes the twisting, okay? Progressions towards learning a standing full. Make sure you have a solid back tuck. Make sure you have an Arabian. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, why do I need an Arabian for a standing full? Because you do an Arabian and then you spot the floor for your Arabian and you pull for a front half. Anybody see that coming? Probably if you've been paying attention at all. And then once you have your Arabian, it's really just going for a standing Arabian and then just ripping it to that full point. If you have a B twist, it'll kind of come into play here a little bit, but not too much, because a good standing full is gonna be over the top and over your head, and a bad one is gonna go sideways. I'm not trying to call anybody out here, but there's a lot of you. Just gonna leave it at that. Okay, so standing fulls, that's how you do it, right? So you start, how do I, the words. I need a bench, yeah. So I'm gonna turn off the camera. I'm gonna get to a bench. And then we're gonna be right back after these short messages. All right, so why did I need a bench? Oh, I was gonna do some really bad backfulls. Okay, so really quick on the topic of setting and twisting, I see a lot of people who will do their backfulls like this and rip it sideways. And that's something that you're going to want to avoid. Just because it's bad form and it's not actually a back full. I mean, it's more like a standing B twist than a back full, just because there's no flip, all right? So it's a back full is a back flip full twist. The way I originally started my back full was like the backwards B twist motion, where I would still, so this is my face, right? I would still jump, set, and see the floor, but from here, I only flat twisted to the floor. And over time, I learned the Arabian technique, where I set over the top, spotted, and then wrapped through, and that makes it significantly easier to do a standing full. Matter of fact, the first time I ever got my standing full was with that same technique after months of practicing the B twist way, so the flat version, and I could never get my feet back under me because they were never under me to begin with from when I started my back full. Okay, so here's what I mean. Oh God, hopefully I don't die. So I used to start this way, and I would set. Hold on, I'll just show you. It's awkward, I hate this. Like that, okay? So that sucked. And I did the splits a little bit. As you can see, my feet were never under me when I did it. So they didn't get back under me. As I tried to reach to the floor, I just couldn't bring my feet back under me. Now there are people that make this work. So if you wanna do that technique, you can. Your set should not be sideways like this, like you're dabbing. It's really bad. It wants to be over the top, like a back flip, and then pull through, so it should look more like this. Oh, I'm not warmed up. All right. So maybe I can do it. I'm not warmed up. This is what happens when I lift yesterday. Oh God, all right. I'm not warmed up. Okay, so even with the fails being in there, hold on, I'm gonna line it right now, but even with the fails still being in there while I'm not warmed up, I would like to point out that my feet are still significantly more under me, like they're hitting the ground first than the very first one that I did, okay? So it works. Just do the flip, get your feet above you so they can come back under you. Because if they go this way, then they're gonna go this way. I'm gonna count that one. I'm gonna take it. It's really bad, but I'm also not warmed up, so it's okay. For the record, I hate back fulls off of things, so what you're gonna see here is you're gonna see me look, spot the floor, and then wrap. Let's do it this way so my feet don't clip. All right, Hercules, you gotta move, buddy. You gotta move, buddy. I need this space right here. Yeah. Hi, buddy. So it's all the same, whether it's a round off full, a cartwheel full, or a standing full. I always learned the front flip version first, which would just be a front flip or a front half, depending on how far along you are. And then from there, I just treated it as a half twist. So hopefully that helps. But even with a cartwheel or a round off, I learned my Arabians first. So I learned cartwheel Arabian, and then I learned round off Arabian. And then from there, it was just pulling the half twist, and it makes it 10 times easier. And I'm understanding what I'm doing in the air and where I'm at, because I can see the floor the whole time inside my half twist and inside my back full, with the exception of like the start. So here's I don't want to do a cart full, Rudy. Do we have old clips? Let me know if we have old clips, and then and if we don't, then I'll go do one. No, I'll just do one. All right. It's gonna be the same thing with that cart full that I just did. You're gonna see me spot the floor, and then you're gonna see me half twist. Drills, okay? If you want to start with a B twist, like, you know, like that flat full twist motion, you can, and it's a solid place to start. Again, I started there, so it's definitely one way to go. Then it would also be going to do the Arabians and the Arabian dive rolls. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave a link right up there for you guys to go check out, or you can check out the description down below. I will also put it there, along with some other videos I think that are gonna be helpful for twisting. So be sure to check those out as well. So you're gonna start with your back tuck. So please make sure you have a standing back tuck. And if you don't, go watch the standing back tuck video. It's gonna be inside the description down below. So have a standing tuck, have an Arabian. And if you don't know how to do the Arabian, what am I gonna say? Check the description down below. Let's touch into some of the drills for the Arabian here, because they are relevant to our back fulls, okay? So one is gonna be the Arabian dive roll, which is a half turn forward roll. And that's a good place to start if you aren't comfortable just going for the Arabian, or if you already have an Arabian, that's a huge bonus. The next place to go would be to do your standing Arabian, or your round off Arabian, or your cartwheel Arabian. All of that applies. And then once you have that Arabian, what I want you to see is, I want you to spot the floor to see where you're at. And then from there, it's trying to put one hip to the other. In my case, it's my right hip to my left hip, because I am a left side twister. From there, after you have your standing Arabian, it's just going for the full, right? So you're gonna hit your Arabian, you're gonna spot for the Arabian. And before you're like going all the way over, right? Like if this is your feet, so you're gonna turn, start going, and then if this is your head, once you spot, then it's very acceptable to like tuck your legs and pull through and finish the twist. What I don't want to see you do though is grab your knees. If you're gonna pull and you're gonna tuck, a tucked standing full is very common and relatively acceptable. If you saw mine, I also do a tucked full. But what you don't see me do is, you don't see me grabbing and tucking my knees and trying to push my knees to the side. So that is a common mistake that happens often. So just keep that core tight and try to turn. Yes, good boy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we gotta do the tutorial like this now. Hi. From the round off and the cartwheel perspective, what we're gonna be doing is the exact same drills, but we're gonna be adding some momentum into them, okay? So you're going to be hitting your cartwheel or your round off into your forward dive roll. And then from there, you're gonna be going to your forward flip. So your front flip, cartwheel front flip, or round off Arabian. And then once again, once you see that floor, rip that half twist, try to put one hip to the other. Okay, good boy, you can go, thank you. So you're trying to put that hip to the other hip. If it ends up being sideways, again, that is totally acceptable at first. Okay, you don't want to stay sideways, because you want to be able to go into other things. And now there are variations. There are going to be people who are upset at me saying not to go sideways, but they're definitely further along than you are or I am if they're watching this back full tutorial for whatever reason. Because there are variations that come along with not being inverted. For now, this is just a base tutorial, right? Invert, get over your head. If you're gonna be doing your back full off of anything, make sure you jump away from your bench or whatever it is that you're doing off of, because it's gonna suck otherwise. So just to recap, set, hands above your head, spot, I spot underneath my armpit, spot the floor, pull your arms in at the same time that your hips are turning and pulling in for that wrap. Don't do this thing, no low dabs, none of that. Tucking your standing fulls or your cart fulls or your run off fulls is relatively acceptable, unless if you're specifically going for that layout full. If you're just a free runner or a tricker or a b-boy, tucking your fulls is totally fine. If you're a cheerleader or a gymnast, make sure you do the layouts like your coach is probably gonna tell you to do. Make sure you flip before you twist. okay? If you'll notice, I'm already starting my flip, but before I even start my twist, I'm making sure that my hips are coming up and then wrapping my hips over my head as I'm tucking and wrapping and finishing everything out. But I start my flip first. Okay, so start your flip, then start your twist. Don't start your twist and try to flip later. It's not gonna work out that way. It's gonna end up like the very first back full that I did, and it's just don't do it. And that's pretty much how we do our back fulls, okay? So set with your hands above your heads, I spot underneath my armpit. Once you see the floor, start wrapping for your full and treating it like your half twist, because that's gonna make it worlds easier for you if you understand your half twist really well. A few common mistakes I've already been over, which is the sideways low dab thing. And I think that wraps this up. So if you have any questions, feel free to DM us at our Instagram, which is at The Collective Movements. You can always send us your videos. We're happy to look at them and give you some advice on them. So we would love to see that. And if there's anything that you guys want to see in a future tutorial, make sure you drop it down in the comments below. And don't forget to click that like button for me and hit the subscribe button, because it's really going to help us out, because I'm just trying to spread some knowledge for you guys. So hopefully you're enjoying the content. And if there's anything I can do to improve, let me know, again, in the comments down below. And don't forget to check the description for helpful videos to get to this point. And as well as our Instagram is linked down there. If Rudy's gonna link it like right there anyway. So yeah, so DM us your stuff. Let's see what you got, and let's get you these back fulls. Happy Saturday, TCM.